What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, I'm Lauren and my husband and I are trying to pay off a ridiculous amount of debt, and I make videos on my channel talking all about all the real numbers, all the details, all that good stuff. So if you like videos like that, then make sure you subscribe and follow our journey. So today we are kind of having like a chit chat about an idea I had, and I'm like 99% set on it in my head, but you know, I like to talk to you guys about everything, and so I'm just gonna talk through my reasoning on this idea to pay off a big chunk of debt in December this month and see what you guys think, because I filmed my annual budget and annual financial goals videos like 2 days ago. No, not 2 days ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I filmed them like early November, basically. Anyway, I was looking at our budget and our goals for next year, and I was just feeling like demotivated and uninspired because we had been working on paying off student loan debt, and we had paid off everything except for our student loans and our mortgage and our home equity line of credit. And for a long time, I had kind of categorized our mortgage and home equity line of credit, I had categorized our mortgage and home equity line of credit together as like house debt that we weren't trying to pay off. And then I realized that our home equity line of credit had a higher interest rate than our student loans, so I brought in our HELOC into our debt Snowball and started working on that because it had the highest interest rate and the lowest balance of any of our debts. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of tired of paying off student loans. Let's switch to paying off the home equity line of credit for a while and see if we can get that paid off. So we've been doing that for, I don't know, like 5-6 months at this point, and the balance right now, as of the time I'm filming this, is just over $16,000. And the amount of payments we can afford to make, as if we keep contributing 15% towards retirement, which is our goal now that we're like in our mid-30s, we need to like really step up retirement because we're behind on that too. The amount we would be able to pay towards our home equity line of credit for the entire year of 2022 would only be about $5,000. So for a whole nother year, we'd be paying our minimum payments on our student loans, which are significant. They're like over almost $3,000 a month in minimum payments on our student loans. And then for extra payments, and like between the minimum payment on our home equity line of credit and the extra payments we could afford, assuming our income meets my estimates at least, which it's not a guarantee, we would only be able to pay $5,000. And just the thought of having another year with that home equity line of credit not making barely any progress, it didn't feel like exciting or inspiring. Like it just felt like, I don't know, it just felt blah. And I didn't want to do it. I'm sick of paying the home equity line of credit now. I just want it to be done, and I want to go back to student loans and like really get to those student loans. So all that to say, I had an idea. So let me take out my notes because I wrote it all down. All right, I'm so funny. Okay, we've got the facts, we've got the plan, we've got the financial reasoning, and we've got the emotional reasoning. So let's go through it. Here are the facts. So right now we have a $20,000 emergency fund, plus I have about a $10,000 business emergency fund. So between our personal emergency fund and the emergency fund I've built up in my business account in case I have like really bad months on YouTube and don't have any income to pay myself, is $30,000 between those two, okay? So that's pretty significant. It's the highest amount we've ever had in any sort of savings. Okay, fact number 2, inflation is really high right now. So having $30,000 sit in a savings account, 10 of it is in a high yield savings account, like whoop-de-doo, we've made like $58 in interest in the past year or something. It's like nothing. So basically like it's just losing money due to inflation because it's not invested, because it's emergency funds, and so we keep it in a safe account, which doesn't lose money, but it doesn't really gain money either. So with inflation being so high right now, it just feels like kind of a waste to have such a large amount in an emergency fund. And so I kind of feel like I want to take a chunk of that money and put it towards the home equity line of credit. All right, and then fact number 3, we have a $16,000 balance on our home equity line of credit. So if we took about half of the emergency fund, we could pay off the home equity line of credit. All right, so here is my plan that I came up with. So in January, we had budgeted $1,000 payment towards, extra payment towards debt. So in January, like I could pay $1,000 to the home equity line of credit, which would bring it down to $15,000. and 15,000 is exactly half of what we have in our 2 emergency funds total. So if we took, like I said, half of what we have in the emergency funds and just put it towards the home equity line of credit this month, like now, and got that balance down to $1,000 in January when I made the payment, we would pay it off. And so we would start the year off paying off a debt, and which paying off a debt is like super exciting and motivating, and I feel like gives you the boost to keep going forward. We started our debt-free journey in January of 2020, so we are like 2 full years in of like every extra dollar going towards debt, and I'm just feeling tired. So I feel like paying off that debt would give me the boost I need to like stay motivated and keep going on this journey for like another however many years it takes us to pay off our debt. I'm hoping it's only, I don't even want to say it out loud because I don't want to like put pressure on myself, but I'm hoping it's a 5 to 6 year journey. Like I have a plan in my head of how we're gonna get this done in another like 3-ish years, 3, maybe 4. So financial reasoning. Okay, so if we paid $15,000 to this home equity line of credit this month, we would have it paid off in January. Like I said, that would still leave us $15,000 in our emergency fund. I would have $10,000 in our personal emergency fund and $5,000 in my business savings emergency fund, which now that I've been doing YouTube full time for like, how long has it been? Almost 6 months. I've made, actually, it's kind of interesting, I've made like the same amount of money 5 out of the last 6 months, and it's been like very consistent. It hasn't always been from the same sources, but it's been like added up to almost exactly the same number. And obviously like we'd like to get that increased and have it go up, but it seems like that's kind of like the minimum I'm hitting. So I feel more comfortable using some of the business savings to like pay down debt and not have such a large emergency fund in my business account. Financial reasoning. Bullet number 2, we also have $5,000. It's now probably closer to $6,000 in brokerage accounts, after-tax brokerage accounts, which we could withdraw. So there wouldn't be any penalties because they're not retirement accounts, but there would be like capital gains tax or maybe some other taxes we would have to pay when we cash out those accounts. So it wouldn't be ideal, but in a pinch, if we needed to, we do have access to another like $5,000-$6,000 that we can take out without having like any penalties that we do have access to. All right, financial reasoning, bullet number 3. We have around $2,000 to $3,000 in sinking funds. So not including our emergency fund, we put money into sinking funds every single month for car repairs and like, I don't know, my cat's expenses and utilities and Christmas and all that kind of stuff. And that builds up over time, and it does go down some months, but it generally like goes between like $1,000 and $3,000, but I'm trying to get it more to like $2,000 to $3,000. So again, on top of the $15,000 emergency fund we have $5,000 in brokerage, so that's 20 plus another like, call it $2,500 in sinking funds. So we've got $22,500 that we could access in an emergency. Okay, financial reasoning number 4, we do still have access to our credit cards and our home equity line of credit. So I know this is not a good emergency fund like to rely on, because if you have a financial issue, like you lose a job or something, then if the credit card company finds out, they can lower your credit limit. So right now we've got like over, I think $70,000 of access to credit on credit cards, because I have 2 credit cards that have a $25,000 limit. I didn't ask for $25,000, that's just what they gave me when I got the card, which is ridiculous. But yeah, so I have $50,000 myself, probably more than that. I think it's like $60,000. My husband has another $30,000 or $40,000, and we'll keep our home equity line of credit open, which is like a credit card basically, but with only a 4% interest rate. And the bank could close that at any time, but just because we pay it off doesn't mean it gets closed. Like it stays open like a credit card. So with access to credit that we currently have, and again, I know it's not something to rely on 100%, but currently we do have it. We have access to over $100,000 of credit if we needed to, in an emergency, like pay for something. So it is a factor when I'm thinking through all this. All right, the next financial reason is we can stop retirement contributions at any time. Right now we are contributing about $1,500 a month or more to retirement. And so obviously if my husband lost his job, it would be different than if I had like a bad series of months on YouTube, because we would be like out a lot of income. He's the majority income like earner in our house right now, but hopefully I'll be back to beating him or meeting the same amount as him at some point in the near future. But anyway, so yeah, if I had bad income months, or like he got a job that paid less or something for some reason, we could stop the withdrawals to his 401k and stop contributing to retirement. And that would also like ease up our cash flow if we needed to for a couple months or something, if there was like a financial crisis that we were going through. Okay, and then my last financial reason that we should do this is we plan to pay, like I said at the beginning of the video, like $4,000 to $5,000 in extra debt payments throughout the year, and we could just not do those and put that money towards bills or build back up our emergency fund if we needed to. So there's like extra room in our budget that we're not considering extra because it's going to debt payoff, but we do have money for extra debt payments that we've budgeted, so we could just not do those if we really needed to. Okay, and then finally, for the emotional reasons, I won't go into them too much because I already like touched on these basically, but I'm just over paying the HELOC. I just don't want to spend another year on this same debt to only pay it down by like $4,000 or $5,000. The emotional boost of paying off debt is really motivating, and I'm just ready to go back and focus on the student loans. So yeah, I hope I've argued my case well. You guys know I used to be an attorney, so I tried to lay out a clear, factual, reasoned argument for you guys. I don't think you guys will necessarily disagree, but I know it is risky because my husband makes most of the money in the household, and if he lost his job, it would be a more serious situation, whereas before, like, we were both making a similar amount of money and both making 6 figures, and so if one of us lost our job, and we were living off of like basically half, so if one of us lost our job, it would be not great, but it would be totally doable, whereas now it's less doable. And oh, my husband has like very good job security, so he loves his job, he loves his company, they love him, and the position that he's in is like very in high demand, and he could go to another company if something happened to his current position. So anyway, that's another thing that I forgot to put in my factors. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm pretty set on it, but definitely comment below. I want to hear what you guys think about this plan. I'm really excited because this would mean that we end the year paying off a lot more debt than I planned on, and almost paying off our home equity line of credit this year. We'd only have a $1,000 balance on it as of the end of the year. And yeah, I just feel like this is the right move. I feel like with inflation the way it is, it's just, we don't need $30,000 sitting in savings. We've never had that much money sitting in savings. We've got through like almost a decade of marriage having a like $1,000 to $2,000 emergency fund, and we've been fine. So I feel like it's the right thing to do. So comment below and let me know what you guys think. I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are before I like go make the payment. I already went on the website to see like how big of a payment you can make. Like, can you make a $15,000 payment? I've never made a payment that big. That would be like by far the largest payment I've ever made. I think the largest one I've made, it was maybe like $3,000. So I went on there. You can't even make a payment that big. You can only make a $3,500 payment, so I'd have to do it in like 5 different payments, which is fine. But yeah, I wanted to wait to like tell you guys and talk to you about it before I actually like went ahead and like made that first payment. So I'll make like a $3,500 payment a few times, just like all days in a row, I guess. I don't know, maybe you can schedule a bunch at once. Anyway, this doesn't really matter for you guys' purposes, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for following along in my journey. I love talking to you guys about like the different strategies we're doing, the different things I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, because this is not just a numbers game, it's an emotional game. Like, what do I need to do to keep pushing with this? Like, what do I need to do to stay on track and still feel motivated to try to become debt free? Because if I'm not motivated, like, it's just so brutal and I'm gonna fall off track, and I need to stay motivated. So I feel like this is what I need. This is the boost I need to be able to go into 2022 excited about our plan and just like motivated to pay as much to student loan debt as possible. So comment below, let me know what you guys think, and I'll update you guys when I make a decision, probably in my next debt payoff update. But I'm like 99% sure I'm gonna do it unless somebody points out like some really important reason why not to, but I'm like pretty set on it at this point, just being honest. So yeah, comment below, let me know what you think. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. It really helps on my channel. And if you want to see more videos like this from me, then hit that red subscribe button down there. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.